Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jay Talks Today's Relationships Show. Well, there's only three of us today. Yeah, they think they got me.
In the middle.
In the middle?
In the middle.
It might be a good seat. What are you talking about?
Chocolate cream.
Well, anyway, we here.
We is here.
And they are there.
They're there.
Who
is we? You're not going to introduce us today?
I got to do that?
Yes.
Today?
Everybody.
Of all days?
Yes.
While I'm in the middle?
Right. Yes. Because everybody knows who we are.
Since they got me in the middle, I'm Jay.
Why did you get to go first?
Because I'm Jay. I didn't think that had to be explained. And let me see, should I go to my left or to the right? I'll go to my right. Because we got power on this side.
Oh, yes.
We got power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because she plugged in.
Yeah.
We got Sister Soldier.
Oh! Did you see what he did? He went like this.
But he went to the left.
Okay, hold up. Why don't we just introduce ourselves?
I was trying to get there.
He. Oh my goodness.
I was trying to get there.
You want to try it again?
No.
Okay, cool. Hi, I am Lady K. And to my left, extreme left, is Sister Soldier.
Hi, Ro.
And in the middle, stuck in the middle, is Jay. What's the topic for today, Jay? Well, before we do that, though, why don't you tell them of how they can reach us here on the show?
Yeah, how you can reach us here on the show. You can call 931.
He having memory problems today?
No. I was trying to, figure out which accent to use today.
Yo.
Sorry. You sure won't be in the middle today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But you can reach us on the show at 931. Y'all having too much fun. 931-266-0206. You're more than welcome to call in and make your voice known on this show.
And do what with your voice known on this show?
Make your voice known on this show.
He can't talk. It's my bad. Ooh. Does being in the middle make you that nervous today, Jay?
No, ma'am.
You sure? Okay. You sure about that, Sister?
I'll take it easy on you.
I'm sitting up straight. My head is held up. Y'all don't see me.
We won't talk about that haircut today, but okay. Anyway, what's our show topic for today, Jay?
Our show topic today is, it's the sexual revolution over. This month is Firecracker Month. We've been talking about a lot about sexual situations, sexual relationships, sexual relations. Those first two were pretty hot too.
They were pretty hot.
Yeah, is there really a need for a maintenance man?
Yes.
Maintenance woman?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say it. I won't say maid. I won't say the maid. I didn't say it.
Thank you for not talking about the maid.
I didn't say it.
Thank you for not talking about the maid.
I didn't.
And if any of you want to know what the maid is about, you have to
clean up.
watch. You have to watch the previous show that is available on the website.
Yeah.
And what was the second week we talked about?
Last week we discussed about what it takes to be a good lover.
Yes, that was
We didn't even go great on that. We don't say good.
We just settled that good.
Just to make it in the dough, right?
Right.
Just get on the list.
Literally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this week we're talking
And
about
I use my professionalism.
professionally.
You can't blame that one on me.
Okay, so this week we're talking about the sexual revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Is it over? Is it dead?
Is it dead?
Is it dead?
No.
Well, first off, I think that our host, since he's in the middle this week, should define exactly what we mean by the sexual revolution.
That I should define it.
Yes. So that everybody have a clear understanding as to what we mean by the sexual revolution, because some people may not know
Yeah,
what the sexual
I
revolution
didn't know. I was thinking about the 60s, to tell you the truth.
It started in the 60s.
It started in the 60s.
It started in the 60s.
Yeah, it was a sexual
I
liberation.
was there then.
With the flower movement,
Flower power,
flower power,
free
and all
love.
that.
I was there.
Free love.
You were there.
I was there.
Wow.
We gonna get into what that free love thing. And,
Yeah, I was there.
I mean, because some people think right now that love is free.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. When you get it, they give it to you freely.
Mm. Oh, all right.
But you'll pay for it later when it ain't no good.
It's like credit. You get it on
credit.
credit. You get it now. Enjoy it now. Pay later.
No, you get it now. Enjoy it now. If you don't come back, you don't pay.
Oh, it's like a trial period.
Yeah.
Money back at the end of the trial in case you
No,
don't
your
like it.
money don't come back.
You just pay for the trial period.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
And if it's good, you get it free all the rest of the time. If it ain't, you got to pay for it too.
Well, it did have to go back to the 60s. It was a sexual liberation, and it was kind of like a social movement that challenged, many traditions of time. And, the behavior related to sexuality and interpersonal relationships, that's another one, interpersonal relationships.
Interpersonal relationships.
And it was throughout pretty much most of this side of the world, the Western world. Not in the Oriental world, but mostly on this side.
The
States.
You wonder why that was, and I was thinking that, back over, on this side of the equator, we had a lot of hang-ups about sex and about what our ideas and what our views of sex should be or were, and actually, when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about, when Playboy first came out, that was just a radical thing. He caught a lot of flack for talking about sex in a magazine and the photography, but overseas, all of that stuff was normal. It's just over here we were kind of, hung up on our bodies. We didn't want to the women, weren't expected to expose too much. Like if a woman, for instance, if a woman exposed, her thigh, she was considered loose. Yeah,
Her ankles.
Her ankles.
Way back then, 1800s, ankles.
Yeah, and now we got women walking through malls and in public
That's because they birthday bra. Men in the 60s, they birthday bra, they let everything out.
What you mean, do you remember when? I wasn't around back then when they were burning bras in the 60s.
You can fool everybody else. She can fool everybody else, but you can't fool me. Anyway, that's when all the freaks come out. Remember Rick James? Freaks come out at night.
That wasn't Rick James.
Now here we go.
The freaks come out at night.
Okay. I've got on the end of the show.
The freaks come out at night was
shoot.
Well, okay, whoever.
Who did that? Freaks come out at night. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I'm thinking about
but
that.
Whoever, I can't think of the band either. That's why I said it. But whoever did freaks come out when they
either Houdini or God.
A sexual revolution was free love, free sex, free everything. Everybody felt liberated back in the 60s, so all the freaks came out of everybody. Whatever happens to you, it goes.
But why was it considered freaky?
Because of the war and at the time, because of the war that was going on in the 60s, you had groups fighting against the war because it really wasn't our war, but that's another political thing I would not get into. And so when they come back, they had all these psychedelic drugs, so they were doing all the little freaky stuff. So
well, you know what?
It was a revolution.
Well, but
it came out of the army.
But you know what though? It's like this. Things that we consider now to be normal, back then were labeled as freaky.
Right.
And now it's just normal. Like when you see a man and a woman living in the same house together and they're not married, back then that's considered, that's some freaky stuff going on in there. Now it's the norm.
Right.
To see couples kissing in public.
Right.
Back then was considered some freaky stuff.
Right.
Now it's the norm.
But
to see two men kissing each other. Back then was definitely considered to be some freaky stuff.
That's
but
gross.
now it's now it's the norm. I mean,
It's a norm. That part.
No,
It's
no.
more acceptable.
It's gross.
I'm gonna tell you something. In certain parts of the country, honestly, in certain parts of the country,
you're right.
in major metropolitan areas, it's nothing to see two men walking down the street holding hands, two women walking down the street holding hands, kissing and hugging each other just like a heterosexual couple. It's nothing. It's nothing to see. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I first moved into a major metropolitan area, I was not that I was naive, but it kind of struck me like, because I was seeing so much of it. But to the people that already live there, they just walking by and looking. And after I lived there for a minute, I would just walk past it as well because I was just so used to seeing it. But if you coming from a small suburban area, that I consider to be enclosed, and you go to this major metropolitan area, you see these things.
That's gross.
Well,
Especially to men.
that's a
You see
personal
a man with a
opinion.
thick mustache
That's a
and slop and slide, and all his spit is up in the man. But I said, that's gross.
But that's a person. But then don't look straight ahead.
No. I want to see how
But
it's done.
nasty. But then even so, even now, back in the 60s, women had to fight for the control of their own body, meaning contraceptives. You had to fight for the right to be on the pill.
To party.
But now, it's very much an acceptable practice for young ladies to be put on the pill. Back in the 60s, it was a revolutionary type of thing, Wow, you're on the pill. I'm like, hey, women actually had to fight for the right to control their bodies. So is the sexual revolution dead? I don't think so, because women are still fighting for the right to control their bodies. Roe versus Wade, abortion, legalized abortion. Now they're stripping that away. So it's still issues in the law. Has the law gone too far? Do y'all think the law has gone too far where it enters into our bedrooms as to what we do or what we consider to be normal for us?
Well, the law have went too far, because now instead of being a presidentialship, it's a dictatorship. Let Sister Soldier tell you. Because anytime they can tell you, well, you can't, I understand some people don't smoke, some people do smoke, and you have to go outside and smoke or go 50 feet from the building. I understand that because of health reasons. Some people have asthma and can't breathe and stuff like that. But anytime you get a government to tell you have to buy health insurance or you get penalized, if you have to pay higher taxes on cigarette because you smoke, or you have to, it's a number of things I can't get off the top of my head right now because I'm not trying to go into the political part of it, but it's a dictatorship. And back in the 60s, when they had a sexual revolution, they had somehow got over that, because then you had a woman had the right to choose if she wanted to have a baby. Right now, today it's called pro-choice, or have abortion. Back then, it was a lot of stuff that women didn't have rights to. But if you remember way back in time, you remember that time when the women come vote.
Why are you looking at me? I don't remember that time. I am not that old. I may have read about that time, but I wasn't there.
I was gonna take you back there with
you. May have been back there, but I wasn't back there.
When women didn't have a right to vote. So after the war, that's why there was a lot of babies born back then. It was a baby boom stuff, because after the war, and it was the free love, and it was and all that stuff. Them soldiers come back to war with all the tension in them, right?
You still say soldiers coming back from the war?
Yeah. They come back to war. You see the picture where he bring this woman over, he kissing her and stuff like that. Later on that night, there was some tension there.
But we're talking about the sexual revolution.
That's part of it.
But
That's the beginning, because back then, that's when you had the baby boom. So that is the beginning of the
because those baby boomers were the ones that were actively sexual during the 1960s when all of this movement began. But the movement is still going on today. Like for instance, just a couple of weeks ago, public nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Public nudity. Now, this is crazy. They have this campaign on now called Free the Nipple. Now, I remember back in the 70s when women were trying to free the nipple by not wearing bras.
Right.
Okay, but now women are actually trying to free the nipple by walking around in public places with no shirts on, no top, no bra, anything. And
free the nipple.
Now that's a bit extreme for me.
Well, they said that guys can walk around with no shirt.
Why can't women walk around with no shirt on?
You can see their nipples. Why come you can't? Because there's some men out there got some male boobs. They walk around.
They force us to look at
and they jiggling right. And they ain't got no shirt on. They jiggling. And they got us. And we looking at them like, woo! We can't jiggle it too. Free the nipple. Free the nipple. Free the nipple.
Well, yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Yeah, there's some strong movements going on for so-called equality. That's what it says. Equality in everything. That basically the women want the same rights or the same avenues or options that men have.
Now, we're not saying that we want to all walk around exposing ourselves, but
because some people
you want the option.
The option to do it.
If you want to do it,
yeah.
Because that don't mean we're gonna do it.
Men, they still have an option, but
they choose to walk around without no shirt on. We don't choose to do that, because if we as women choose around, y'all mouth be dropped like that.
And if we women walk around in public with no shirt on, we can be arrested for public nudity. But men can walk around in public with no shirt on and it's fine. They get a little warning.
I do say that there's a kind of there's a double standard, but the double standard I'm looking at is what's the difference? And I find this to be the same issue with women as it is with men, being a problem, not for fighting for the rights. That when you take the same woman who would walk on a beach in a string bikini and barely covering anything, matter of fact, might be exposing almost everything. All right, walking on the beach just because it's the beach, or just because, or at the pool just because it's the pool, right? Still, it's in the public. Still, there's a lot of people that see them, and they're basically almost nude. Okay. All right. What's the difference in seeing them in that kind of swimming suit, or that exposure, and the exposure of of panties in a bra. And the amount of exposure of body that's being put out.
Okay, when you have panties on, it might be big drawers.
Oh, you talking about stuff that's scary folks. That's what you talking about. We have a show on that.
And then when you have a bra, it covers everything. When you have a bikini, a swimsuit, two-piece, whatever, it might just cover the
nipples. Yeah, you're not gonna
and
have.
I'm saying
the bottom part might just be a patch in the front.
But I mean,
but when you at home, you wearing the whole package. The whole bra. So
okay, but what if they have a swimming pool? Watch the same effect. They're at home. What if they have a swimming pool and they decide to put on their bikini? They're at home and they're walking around in their home in the bikini.
Right.
Guests come over, but it's accepted that they can walk around in the bikini showing more exposure than what their grandma panties in a full bra could show. But if they open the door in the panties and bra rather than a bikini, then it's like, oh, you know, you get frowned on. And what I'm saying is, it seems like there's a double standard. A double standard as far as what the society label it as, you know, this taboo, and then really dealing with the reality that there's no difference in exposure. We're talking about exposure.
Right.
So why is it such a taboo when a woman that answers the door in bra and panties, then answer the door in a bikini?
Let me ask you this: which one is sexier, the bikini or the bra and panties?
I think most men would say the exposure. All right? The exposure.
Okay.
Since I am the male representative here, it would be the exposure. Knowing what most men would say would be the exposure. It wouldn't matter if it's a bikini or a bra and panties, it's the exposure.
But you know, even on the male side, you know, we're talking about the sexual revolution, even like in print ads, you know, back in the 60s and 70s, you didn't see print ads with men wearing, you know, modeling briefs and all other little interesting doodads like you do now.
Right.
You know, now even in print ads, we see some really interesting things out there with men's briefs. And I remember growing up, it was like, remember that TV commercial? Who wears shorts?
Yeah.
And the Nair commercial.
When
the Nair commercial came on, I remember my brothers be glued to the TV like this. Ooh, you know. Yeah. But now, that's mild compared to
what they wear now.
What we see in television ads now.
Yeah, and what we see on the streets. I mean, you know, what we see on the streets nowadays is on women is jeans even made where it's cut down so low that the crack of the behind is half of it at least is exposed.
Well, that's done to show the top of the G-string.
That's what they
wear
I
know.
Yeah,
but I mean, still you gonna see the crack, but even with the I mean,
could you imagine a 300-pound woman with a crack in her? I mean, with her pants on, wear a G-string.
She made one.
Well,
so was a skinny woman made one.
But the thing about it is this, ladies, just because they make it in your size,
that don't mean
you should put it on.
I'm saying.
You don't mean you should
Every
put it
time.
on.
You know what? I think it's like this, and I think I'm speaking from a general psychological view that the bigger women are probably and y'all I know I'm in the middle, but
the
bigger women,
we watching you.
The bigger women are I believe that why they do it, even though to the appearance and to the acceptance of others, you know, we have this profiling thing, right?
Correct. Go ahead.
You know, we say big women should not do what skinnier women do, right?
Keep your
You hear how I said that?
Yeah,
big women should not do. I might get some love from some big women. Should not do what skinnier women do. However,
switch it around. That skinnier women should not do what big women do.
Well, it's hard for them to do what bigger women do. Really?
I beg your pardon. Don't nobody want a bone but a dog. We got meat on that bone. You can't ride that horse for holding them handles. You ain't got no handles. How you gonna ride that horse?
She was going there.
I got to talk to you. I think I opened the door for her.
I knew she was going there. I knew she was going there.
Yeah.
She always talking about riding that pony.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day she gonna, this high gonna probably be a midget.
She gonna get a low. She gonna get a low ride.
You're gonna get a low ride.
Get a low ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a mini
With the
pony.
seat way down. The seat gonna be way down there.
I'm gonna get a mini pony.
But I mean, I understand what you're saying is that but let's look at what we see. I understand there are some full figure women. I'm a full figure girl. You're a full figure girl. And the thing about it is that not everything was made for us to wear. Just because they make it in our size. I mean, that's not attractive.
But you know your body type.
You know your body type. You know what is attractive. And yes, some bigger women like us will wear, will wear things to make us feel sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now.
But
just because they make it in your size don't mean you should put it on. Because
I wear it under my clothes. What make me feel sexy panties and bra. But I wear it on my clothes so don't nobody know I got it on but me.
Or whoever.
But I don't want to show it to everybody that's going shopping or out in the streets or going to take care of business or like that. It's my little secret. That's all it is.
But that's just like back in the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s. Let's get her straight over there. I'm a child of the 80s.
No, she's not.
And back in the 80s, I mean, it was commonplace for us to wear bustiers as a part of our
wardrobe.
As a part of our wardrobe.
Yeah.
I remember I used to going down to the club with a bustier on, some little slick pants and a jacket. And trust me, my jacket was not buttoned down, but it was an undergarment that we were wearing for everyday apparel. And
they wore that. What's her name? Madonna bought that out.
Yeah, bustiers and corsets and all of that. And speaking of Madonna, that's a good person.
Yeah.
We talk about about the sexual revolution because she did a whole book called Sex. And all these photographs, and she did a lot for young women. Some people say Madonna was trashy. No, Madonna was expressing her individuality. And there's nothing wrong with expressing your individuality as long as you don't do anything dangerous. Now, you can express your individuality without doing something dangerous.
And everybody don't want to see it. Everybody want to see it. If you at Walmart, weigh 300 pounds, your belly hanging on your pants and you crack down, nobody want to see that. That's not
You got a lot of skinnier women doing that too.
Well, that's a bone.
I'm kind of like this. I'm like this person where even though I'm in the middle, but I'm kind of like this person who likes, like I said, even though I'm in the middle, who likes to see the middle of the view. And the thing I tend to see, is we have been transformed into a society, and that's all over. That's pretty much all over the United States. Some countries don't even matter which size you are, but here in the States, we have been transformed into a stereotype as to what's supposed to be rather than what is should be allowed to be. And the thing of it is, we say we have the freedom that all men and all women are created equal.
Oh, that's not true.
Wait a minute. Why is that not true?
That's not true. It's like back in the 70s, Twiggies were in.
Yeah, but let's stay on sex here because that's the government part because that's in the Constitution.
We don't
want that. We stand out.
Right.
We go on into sex.
But Sister Soldier. But the thing is, okay, listen. All right. Now we started out with Twiggy. Women like Twiggy was the in thing, and then like you hit like the 80s, and you had more voluptuous women that was considered the in thing. Right. You know, like when Janet Jackson came out with Control, everybody was talking about her little booty. You know, because she had booty.
But you know why?
But then we hit the 90s. We had women like Jennifer Lopez, who was not a skinny chick. She was shapely. You know, and then we kind of slid backwards a little bit with these little skinny women again. I like how Monique says skinny women are evil. Yeah. But now she's just about skinny. But and then we went through another phase where we had a lot of full figure, beautiful women that hit the scene like Monique. You know, for instance, beautiful. Elle, the model Elle, you know, beautiful. You know, full figured women. And we just kind of fluctuate all over the place when it comes to that. But the scary thing is that even though we have this multiple scale, this multiple range of body types, they're still considered an ideal type. Right. And correct. What is an ideal type? Right. Because that ideal type does not exist. Right. You have women going under the knife trying to be that ideal type. Yeah. And that's not correct.
But the ideal type, they think is a Barbie. A Barbie figure. If Barbie
didn't have a figure.
If Barbie were actually, this the media.
Barbie didn't have a figure.
If Barbie was actually human. She was actually flat. And
have you seen them Barbie dolls? Barbie was flat.
I just sold my 1957 Barbie, so I seen it.
She was flat.
She had some pointy ones, no nipples. She had no nipples.
She was. She didn't have any hips.
She had not in today's women. There's no
today say it won't be Barbie would have been 36, 38, whatever size they said if Barbie was alive. Okay,
that's like,
Barbie was an actual person.
That's like that Commodore's brick house.
Yeah.
36, 24, 36. Where is she at?
She really suffered from malnutrition. 24 waist. That means she ain't got no colon, because that's colon. I'm stupid, though.
Not many black women gonna have a 36 hip. I'm sorry.
Well, in these days, in the second 20th century,
21st century.
Come
on up, yeah.
21st century.
Well, back then when Twiggy and all that was
really the Caucasians are matching really a lot of the African Americans.
They getting booty now. They getting booty. Yeah. They ain't have no booty. They had straight back. Yeah. They getting booty now.
Maybe they eating the same stuff that we've been eating.
I had friends.
A little grease got into the food.
They eat some cornbread.
Some fat bag in it.
I don't know what it is, but
nacho salad on it.
Now they got some of that all beef wheat.
Now they see.
I knew you were gonna go there. Stop it.
I ain't saying that. They did. They got 100% all beef wheat, and they started getting a little bad. You know, now all that food they still eat their salad. With their crescent, their cucumber sandwiches.
You're terrible.
I'm sorry.
You're terrible.
I'm sorry.
But
that brother getting that shape
wrong for that. But you know, and then it's like when we talk about the sexual revolution, you know, you cannot talk about the sexual revolution without talking about how before it was just unthinkable, you know, for a man and a woman to cohabitate and not be married.
Could you explain to me what the word cohabitate means?
Cohabitate means live together under the same
Just
roof.
Say live together.
Well, I'm saying cohabitate. His word. Okay. Jay's favorite word is shacking. You know, but the thing about even the word shacking has a negative connotation to it. Yeah. It has a very negative connotation to it. But nowadays,
or living together.
Yeah,
we can
living together.
Black folks say shacking.
You don't have to say shacking.
But you know what? But you know what's crazy though? People been cohabitating, shacking. You right? I'ma stick there.
living
That
together.
sounds like you know what that thing sounds like?
What?
It sounds like you're going on a journey.
You know what I want? You got your luggage?
Yeah, baby. Let's go cohabitate.
I feel a shift in the power structure here. Now, wait a minute. It's supposed to be us. I can't tell.
Every now and then the wind will shift.
She got me on that cohabitating.
But it's true though. You know, in today's society, most couples ain't even so shit. Most couples live together prior to marriage, and if they living together and they're not sleeping together, they lying. They lying. They lying. Yeah, they lying. They lying. They lying. They lying.
How could you sleep? How could you live with somebody and a couple and don't
In a relationship.
in a relationship?
Not that platonic roommate.
Every night.
Every night sleep in the same bed.
Every night.
In the same bed.
In the same bed.
Hold up.
Now,
you use the
you
bathroom.
know they do have some that have the same room that like sleep in like twin beds or little full
We
beds.
talking
Two-
about
two-
people in a relationship.
You talk about
relationship. They're even husband and wife. There are some, not a lot.
Oh.
They are. Hold on. Wait.
You're right about that.
They-
Because
they-
my
they-
father and mother, but the reason my
they
father
have
and mother
two
had
separate
separate
beds in the room.
bedrooms. Okay, they made six. She was tired. She put them in the bedroom. No, baby. I just kidding. But the reason my mother did that is because my father had a bad habit of breaking wind and sleep. So she kicked him out and made him go in this
But
room.
we're talking about young
Yeah.
people. I can't believe she said
Yeah.
that. We're talking about young people though. We're talking about young people. You know, young people, not older people. We're talking about people like in their 20s. Let's say people in their 20s. I don't see them being in a relationship, being in the same house, sleeping in the same room with one bed over here and one bed over here. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that one. Now I know that older people, my grandparents did it. They slept in the same room. He had his bed, she had her bed. That's because he snored. And she just couldn't take it, him right up under her snoring all the
My
time.
mama kicked my father. He snored
in the
and
same
farted
room,
every night.
but my grandparents had two, but they had full size, but they had twin beds. He had his bed on this side of the room, she had her bed on this side of the room. But I don't see people in their 20s doing that. I don't see that.
Oh.
Now, if they're in their 20s, they're living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, they're going to be getting it in.
Here's what I hear folk doing now in their 20s or the younger, very younger generation, is that if they want to play it off, they have two rooms. They're in the same it was an apartment or house. They're in the same residence, but they'll have two rooms. And they want to say, that's my roommate.
Oh, they wasting money. Y'all might as well just go ahead and get one
Y'all heard that.
they wasting
That's
money.
just my roommate.
They wasting
It's
money.
a man and a woman, and they call themselves a man. These two, it's a one man and one woman, and then this 2-bedroom apartment they share, and they call themselves roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Not really, because he's a maintenance man.
She back on the maintenance.
Yeah, because he's a living maintenance man. Now,
And
when
he has what it takes to be a good little.
no, he ain't got what it takes. He just keep up the maintenance. Everybody who work and keep up the maintenance don't do a good maintenance job, you know. But he's a maintenance man until she finds somebody who can.
But see, that's a waste of money. Why you gonna spend money on 2-bedroom apartment when you could just get a 1-bedroom apartment and call it what it is? Call it what it is. Why lie about it? See, that's society. And that's people who not being real. I mean, but you're not being real.
I understand what Lady K said. That's true.
Charge the other person sometimes.
Well, but see, why not just be real about it?
Right, just get 1 bedroom and call it a day. So yeah, I understand what she said. Why pay for a 2-bedroom? Yeah.
Living maintenance man.
But you can still get a 1-bedroom part, have a maintenance man.
That way, you know.
Put him on the couch. You don't want him.
You can get a 1-bedroom apartment. Call your maintenance guy and say, hey, I need my drains unclogged.
Oh, goodness, she back on that.
Yeah.
Say, come here.
She back on that.
Now he's the maintenance man, the plumber.
Say, come over here and tighten my pipes.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Well,
Do what you do and get on. But the thing about it is, we talking about the sexual revolution. Do you think it's dead? And I don't think it's dead. I think it's still evolving.
I think it slowed down a bit because of the AIDS and all
that definitely slowed it down
here.
But
people are still doing the sexual revelation. Look at these people who be on these talk show hosts where they be bringing these people on there and take DNA tests and see who the daddy. Then they wind up 5 different dudes took one test and their daddy. None of them were the daddy.
That's not
sexual revolution.
That's not the sexual revolution. That's somebody just, I can't say it on the air.
But
that's not the sexual revolution. That's somebody just being just straight up irresponsible.
But she just giving it to everybody.
But the thing
about having a good time, she suffered the consequence that she don't know who the dead.
The thing about the sexual revolution is actually sexual revolution brought about some realism. And along with that realism came people that they were actually being responsible. It wasn't about all of this, like you think about, people just out there just living in communes and free love societies and all of this stuff going on. I understand that, yeah, but they were actually being responsible. I mean, the condoms really came out strong, and even
a lot of stuff came out strong. I remember that day.
Stop that. But she won't let me say that. I won't let you say that. But it's like it brought about freedom, and freedom also came with responsibility. We got a whole lot more education out there during the sexual revolution. Think about it. Before the sexual revolution, some parents didn't even talk to their kids about sex.
But wait a minute.
They didn't even talk to them about sex.
But it was a lot of, back then too, was a lot of teenage pregnancies too. Unwanted pregnancies back in the sexual revolution. Unwanted. They got pregnant.
But
back in during the sexual revolution, so it was a big problem with that.
Well, actually, if you really look at numbers, that was the problem before the sexual revolution. There were a lot of women having babies that were not married, raising them in the family as their little sister.
But I'm talking about
whatever.
Pregnancy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There were a lot of, those girls were put away, quietly put away.
Not all of them. If you poll, you can't be put away.
Well, actually, there are ways that it can be hidden in families. It was a lot of things going on, but during the sexual revolution, it was just more advertised. That issue about teenage pregnancy has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, but
prior to that.
It was that's what I'm saying. But it was part of the sexual revolution too. Revelation too.
You think that it was a drastic increase in teenage pregnancies?
Yeah.
I don't see
because
that.
they was advertising free love. Okay. They were advertising. If you go to some of the concerts where they have the weed fest, whatever,
they did give it a little bit of boost.
Yeah,
it may have given it.
When they used to what's that? I can't think of it because I don't smoke weed. But the one they had with the weed, they got one that they have every year, and you could go there and smoke weed all the time. It was in the '62, and they're still having it today. I can't think of the name of it called.
Was it Woodstock?
No, not Woodstock. It's called something else when you just sit around and smoke weed, and the police.
The Great American Smoking.
It's called something else. Some of you older folks, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all call in here and remind me, but I can't remember what it was. And they get high and they get pregnant, they be having sex, right there in front of you. Right there on the blanket for all to see. They wasn't ashamed.
So
you had a whole lot of
but right there at the stage they were doing it.
But Sister Soldier was right about one thing. The AIDS epidemic, when you talk about sexual revolution, you also have to talk about all of these, the widespread of venereal diseases that came out of that. And the AIDS epidemic did put a nice little speed bump in a lot of people's plans. The AIDS epidemic came out. It slowed it down between AIDS and the clap.
It slowed it down a lot.
And that one that's like luggage, herpes.
Right.
It did. It slowed people down because it scares you. When you think about, you used to be able to catch a disease and get a shot, and it'd be a done deal. AIDS came along, and the new strain of herpes came along, and syphilis came along, and you catch that stuff, it'll stick with you like a bad set of luggage.
Right.
Well, syphilis you can cure with penicillin. That's curable. That's a curable.
Yes, if you catch it in time.
It's curable.
If you catch it in time.
If
you catch it in time.
Herpes is not curable, but it's treatable. But you would. It's like treatable. It's worse than luggage because you say luggage.
It could go in recession.
Yeah, because luggage, you can take luggage and it get old, you get rid of. You got some new luggage. With herpes, you can't get rid of it.
Just put another stamp on that luggage.
Take more medicine and just hope it don't have a flare up or whatever. So that's something you're gonna have for the rest of your life. So that's something you wasn't born with, just like AIDS. But
when you think about sexual liberation, I think back to the documentaries that I've seen about the AIDS epidemic.
Oh, I remember what it's called now. I'm sorry.
What's it called?
Freaknik.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. I said I'm gonna come back to
Freaknik.
Yeah.
But the AIDS, the sexual liberation, a lot of people didn't really talk about AIDS in the beginning because they figured it was stamping out homosexuality. The homosexuals they called it a black plague on the homosexual community. But when AIDS got into the heterosexual community, that's when people really started taking notice, and it was sad that it went down like that because homosexuality. Those people who were engaging in that behavior, they said it was high-risk behavior. Okay, they were having sex in secret at bathhouses and places like that. They considered that high-risk behavior. But you had heterosexuals,
right?
High-risk behavior, having multiple partners with no protection.
Right.
But they didn't get that exposure, that media exposure, like the homosexual community did.
But you know why they did that? This is my theory. That means it's just a theory, okay, people? My theory on that, it was one guy, two guys, both of them gay. One of them was jealous of the other, but he was a scientist. A scientist. This is my theory. So he made this virus to get back at his lover. Little did he know it was going to spread like it spread. So he gave some blood at the blood bank one day. He tainted the blood. Then it went to the heterosexual.
Wow.
Right. That's my theory. That's just my theory. Okay, that's just my theory. And so by going to the heterosexuals, they pass it out sexually by blood, semen, and fluid through the body. Then they got it. Then it went from there. And then it went from there. And then blew up to it is today. But see, if that gay lover had gave that other gay lover play, it would have never happened. We would have never had. It's a man-made disease. No, that's my theory.
Okay, that's the theory. We let her get it out. Please do not repeat that theory because it is extremely flawed.
It's my opinion on it.
It is extremely flawed.
It's just a theory.
I'm glad I'm not sitting right there because I'd have kicked her. You ain't kick her for me one time, Jay. Just kick a little bit too. Don't kick her hard. Don't kick her a little bit. But the sexual revolution, you cannot talk about the sexual revolution without talking about gay and lesbian rights.
Right.
And church people, y'all might get upset about this, but it's reality. It's what's real. It's what's real. It's what's in our society. Gay and lesbians really took the bull by the horns during the 70s and 80s and lobbied for rights. Whether we agree with that or disagree with that, it's really inconsequential because it's their right to do that. That is what they wish.
And you don't supposed to judge. We are not here to judge.
We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge. But due to the sexual revolution, they felt, because I had a family member that was gay, and we had many talks about the subject, and I never judged him. I loved him because he was my family. Whether he was gay or not, he was still my family. But he said he was very much involved in protests and rallies and things like that. But what he said was they felt more free to come out. Being gay or homosexual or lesbian, it was a hidden thing. There were so many actors and actresses and people of industry and business
that were booty bandits.
Yeah, okay. But if they came out, they would lose their financial standing, their status in the community because of society's perception.
Right.
So with all of this free love and all of these things were going on, and women burning bras and fighting for the abortion rights and fighting for all of these things, they took that platform and conformed it to suit their purpose and their agenda and jumped on the bandwagon at their time. And during this time, like the 60s and 70s and 80s, there were a lot of different groups, a lot of different interests, all lobbying at the same time, it seemed like, to try to get their agenda put before Congress, put before the president, put out on the media. There was less, it's still a stigma attached to it, as there's stigma attached to anything. There's stigmas attached to interracial relationships. We attach stigmas to everything. People living together not married, we attach a stigma to that. Children born out of wedlock, we attach a stigma to that. But that's people attaching a stigma to it. The thing about it is that this era of free love gave them or opportunity to have their voice heard. And that's something that had not occurred in this country prior to that. You had all of these groups that had not had an opportunity to have their voices heard and to be put out there, I put it like on the band stage, where they had an opportunity to express themselves. You know, during also this time, civil rights movement, same thing about black people. We had not had a stage, a national stage, to express ourselves in until the civil rights movement hit, and they used the boycotts in Montgomery to begin that, and that snowball effect, which led to the legislation. The same thing has happened with these little splintered off groups. Because you look at today's society, the gay and lesbian groups are lobbying for equal rights. Same way women lobby for equal rights, the same way blacks lobby for equal rights. Even now, in the government, same-sex couples can get government benefits as dependents. As dependents. It's called partner. They call it domestic partnership. So whether we agree with it or not, they use that platform as a jumping off point.
Right.
And it's just snowball. And it's true with all of these groups.
But I understand what you're saying. I wasn't trying to get it in politics because it just makes me mad. Because it's just a new world order. They let them do that for a reason. But I'm not going to get into that because it's something else. Because if they let them do that, they let them do the things that they do. They let the people say the things that they do. They let the president do that. It's a reason.
But think about
it. New world order.
But think about it like this.
Everything is falling into place.
But think about it like this. Think about it like this. They said the same thing about black people 50, 60 years ago. They said the same thing about black people. The things that you're saying right now about these splintered groups is the same thing they said about black people at the beginning of the civil rights movement. If we let them do this, if we let them do that, then this will happen and that will happen. It's the same way.
Yeah, but they already let them do that. Look, they let Obama and his mama tell you gotta have insurance. If you don't have insurance, you have to pay the penalty. Let me tell you something. We're the only country that think that money back. Well, people in power think money buys everything to the point, and it does. Money controls everything like that too. Okay, in Canada, in Germany, these are just two states I'm going to tell you about. They got free insurance for their people. Their people don't pay if you can't afford it. You can't afford it, but you still go to the doctor. They still pay for you to have babies if you can't. They don't penalize you because you can't afford insurance. Matter of fact, they got a law where the whole country, everybody in the country, get free insurance. Now why in the United States we got to pay for it and we get penalized for it?
Let me ask you a question.
Now Canada is a free, is an industrial country. Germany is an industrialized country. So America is an industrialized country, but we still have to pay for insurance.
Let me ask you a question. In those countries, who pays the physicians?
The government.
Okay. Do you see the United States government paying physicians?
That's what I'm trying to explain.
But the thing about it is, our system is a capital system. We have capitalism, free enterprise. That's what our country was based on. And I'm gonna tell people, and I'm gonna tell you, and you take it how you want to take it. I love you, my sister. But if y'all don't like it, lump it. Don't get insurance, and do whatever. You need insurance. These people, you know what? It's like this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm done with it. A lot of these doctors are leaving the professional field because they cannot afford the malpractice insurance. Because of people filing false cases against them.
Right.
And then you wonder why you paying your doctor so much money to go and see him. Because he has to pay for this insurance. Not because of anything that he's done.
I know that.
You know, and there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in our system. It's there, that's what it is. But it costs, see, people don't realize when you filing all these claims and thinking you're getting over, you're making it hard on another person. You're making it hard on another person. There's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in our system. And it's true in this capitalist society. People not going to like what I'm saying. That's cool. It's my opinion. But what I'm saying is this. If he has to pay more money over here, you're going to pay more money to go see him. And that's how it is. Because he has to cover his costs.
I understand that part, but my understanding, how could you make, this is supposed to be a free so-called country, how could you make somebody pay for insurance that they can't afford, but you go penalize them if they don't get it?
If you go to the doctor,
I'm trying not to get it
if you go to the doctor and you don't have insurance, and you get seen anyway, because they're not going to turn you away. You're going to get seen. Those services cost money. Those tests cost money. You're going to get seen whether you have insurance or not. You may sign a piece of paper saying, yes, I'm going to pay you for this visit. People default on that. They default on that. So that's money that's sitting there uncollected. But you have received the service, but you have not paid for it.
But
now, before
the government pay for it.
But listen, why should the government pay for it?
Because we are the people. We're a free country. We are United States citizens. We elect people in our office. We pay our taxes. But see, that's what they get when they get. Yeah. But that's what they get when they get government programs to do that now. Okay, they pay for people who really don't need it, but they're abusing the program. But they get insurance. But the people that really do need it, they can't get anything unless they buy it themselves. And if they don't buy it themselves, they get penalized. You got people out there who can work, who still get insurance, who still don't pay nothing, but the government pay for it. Now, if the government can pay for them, and that pays the doctors, because the government sure pays the doctors for all these tests stuff, why come they have to make a person who truly can't afford the insurance get insurance?
Then what you need to do is send a letter to your congressman and tell your congressman that you want all these people that's sitting on the rolls that's committing this fraud, waste, and abuse to be dropped from these programs.
Oh, they ain't gonna do it.
Oh, whoa. Be a solution.
Yeah, it'll be a attempt at a solution to a problem, because they ain't gonna do it.
Well, it really starts.
But I believe politics alone.
And you kind of said it. But it really goes all the way back to the voting, because as you were talking about the how this group took advantage to promote their agenda, the blacks and the gays, or the women's liberation.
Correct.
And also that was more associated with black, but it wasn't just black. Integration wasn't just black, but it primarily was the blacks that actually initialized it.
Correct.
Because you have to remember, in part of segregation was also the not just the Mexicans, the
Indians,
the Indians,
Chinese,
basically anyone that was outside the continent that was non-Caucasian.
Correct.
and so, but it was more the population of the blacks that initialized that. So,
Right.
but just as you were saying, but and as you all were both saying, how they put their agenda and they started beginning to allow these agendas to go forth, take place, or give them rights so that it can take place or be accepted. Well, that all starts with who you vote in.
That's
And when those people who don't go to vote, all right, or those people who don't take the actual time to check out the person that they're voting for, to know what their actual agenda are, or what are the things that they do favor, then if I know you hit the church folk, but I'm gonna hit that again. You may not like this church folk, but we say that, and it's a lot of churches, which means that's a lot of people.
A lot of votes.
Okay, a lot of votes.
A lot of votes.
So if you got problem with the government, those who have been chosen, voted in. And based upon what their agenda, what the things them personally that they accept and don't accept, then we the people are the ones actually more to blame. We need to point our fingers at ourselves because we're the ones who voted them in to handle the business for us.
Correct.
So they speak for us. Or if we voted for someone who has favor for homosexuality or gay rights, and we voted them in, maybe it might be because maybe one of their sons or somebody in their family was, is gay, and so they have a little more tendency to honor that. So if we voted them in, then or if you didn't take the time, collectively as church folk, if we voted them in, that's who we got.
And if you didn't vote,
that's who we got. All right. So they are responsible, like it or not, for handling. So that means if you have a problem with the ones that's representing your voice, then the next time voting comes, then that means instead of talking trash, do something about it. That's how you do something about it.
Okay.
Your vote counts.
Okay.
Your vote counts.
Your vote counts and all that. Yeah, that's true. But let me tell you something.
Let's go.
It's just my theory, my opinion, whatever.
Did you get a
But if you really, but you got to understand, there are forces. I take that back. There are people.
Okay, people
who pick people that they want to run for president.
Oh.
Okay. The most powerful people in the country do not run for president. Okay. They get this person. They had him run for president. If he win, they back him. If he don't win and they got somebody else in mind, they back them. But what they do once they get him in the office, they tell them what they want to do. For example, I'm gonna use your boy, your young man, Obama. He was a lawyer, straight out Chicago. He did a little political, but he didn't do enough like the rest of them to go in office. This committee came up to him and said, "We would like you to run for president. What you think of that? We would do this. He said, all right. Sound pretty good to me. I'll be the first black president in history. Michelle be the first lady. I'll be making history. They pepped him up. Okay? I don't care how much you vote and how much you put in that tab. You might vote for Obama or the other guy. I can't even think his name right now. And he might have won, but they stole his votes and gave them all to Obama. They do steal votes, That's why it takes Florida so long for them to come in every vote. So yeah, you can vote there, but your best thing is to go to your congressman and write him a letter like they're gonna do something good. But there's powers to be in this country. So yeah, if you see a president you like a person to run for president, affordable. But ain't no guarantee he gonna change the world, because
he got people. Because that's not the system we have set.
He can't do nothing. The president can't do nothing unless the House tell him he can do it. I don't care how much of the president. That's just the law. He cannot pass a law unless the House said it's okay.
Well, he does have some cases. He does have presidential authority, but he's not using it.
Not the little big cases.
Something like that, that he can assess as the president, but it's dangerous, and that's a has to be a very, very careful, wise move.
So why he gotta walk on glass? He president. Well, I'm just saying.
We don't have dictatorship. We don't have a unitarian system.
Yes, we do.
Right. We have a system.
Y'all just don't see it.
We listen to you. We have a system of checks and balances. When it comes down to the president, not only does he have to have the electoral votes, he also has to win the popular vote.
Right.
And those two numbers are totally different. Each state carries X number of electoral votes based on its population. And then we also have the popular vote. And whenever you watch the election, you'll see electoral votes and the popular vote.
I understand that.
I understand this too.
They can still
the president, everything goes through Congress, checks and balances, so that we will not have a dictatorship, so that we will not have a unitarian system. Both houses have to come to some type of an agreement, and the president is in the middle, and that's just how the system works. It's a democracy, and believe it or not, I don't care where you go in this world, democracy works. It's way better than the socialist system. Dictatorships, democracy works. And this country, with all of its faults, also have a lot of good when it comes to our political system and our political structures. And I believe that. We're not perfect. And no democracy is perfect. Democracies are always changing and evolving because people change and evolve. And people are involved in democracies. But that's the whole point of a democracy.
Yeah, I understand.
It has to change because it has to express the needs and wants and developmental needs of the populace, of the people. Now, that's our political statement. We are back on track talking about the sexual revolution. Jay, what's that number again for people to call in?
931-266-0206.
We want to hear from you about the sexual revolution because we're talking about, women's rights. We're talking about,
go ahead.
I was just thinking about something when we're talking about the sexual revolution and women's rights. What about men's rights during the sexual revolution? Because there were some men that left the workforce and became house husbands.
That's because their wife made a punk out of them.
The financial structure changed. The idea.
They couldn't find it.
And what about single fathers?
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Single fathers.
During that time, also, single fathers and single parenthoods stepped up quite a lot. I myself raised my daughter from the age of 5 as a single parent, so back during that time, not the 60s, but I ain't gonna tell you when, but back during that time.
Because I'm sure it was looked down upon. I mean, I'm sure that there were some men that went into court to fight for the right to have custody of the kids, where some people felt like, well, he's a man. How was he going to raise a little girl?
Right. That was very hard. Like, there's a lot more easier now. The justice system is a lot more lenient for fathers to get custody. Based, of course, that it has to be evidence or proof or reason why the court would allow or consider in favor of the man. That always, but it's a lot easier nowadays because
it's more acceptable now.
Yeah, it's much more acceptable, just like a lot of other things in the movement. Is things are becoming more acceptable. You know, like you were saying, you know, men, same-sex marriages, that's becoming more acceptable. You know, and there's another thing that has become more acceptable. You know, back and that not this thing, but you know, I just want to plug in. You know, another thing was back in the sexual revolution. Y'all remember streaking? Here we go, streaking. There she's streaking. Y'all remember that?
And she said she don't remember.
They started streaking in the 70s.
Yeah, I remember we lived right down from the college, and it used to be folks used to streak right straight through the college.
I don't know what. That was just a waste of time. You ain't seen nothing.
But you know,
just ass fly right back.
That was all part of that sexual revolution, that free love thing. But the thing I really wanted to get to was the thing that has been on the strong rise. And a lot of people don't really recognize this because they really don't know about this particular lifestyle. It really kicked in. It's not that it wasn't present, just like homosexuality wasn't present because people were in the closet. It's always been, except for this was in the closet real deep. A lifestyle called swinging. Okay.
Oh, they did that back in the 60s.
Well, that was
you act like it's so new, but
even though it's still a taboo, it's much more acceptable in the lifestyle. I won't say the lifestyle, in the life today, today's time, or in this decade. I don't want to say century because that goes way back, but in this decade, as ever more before. Way back then, before the 60s, I mean, you know, somebody, and a lot of people think what swinging is, you need to do some studying. I've done plenty of studying. What swinging is, what it's like, well, what these two couples or these two married people, they just swap with each other. It's much more deeper than that. And
that's what it is?
Yes, it's much more deeper than that. So that expose, because I've seen some news coverages that tried to expose but they really didn't get all the information, or either they just didn't want to say all what the. I believe, really, I kind of believe they did get all the information.
They just didn't want to put it out there.
It might have been a little bit too much for people to absorb, so they put a little bit out there. But it is much more than that. Remember, we had a show that was said that if you can think it can happen, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's not these two couples
it's not just
having sex with two other couples.
Yeah.
What it is, they got a club they go to.
Well, that's part of it. That's one of them.
And they have sex with other couples.
Well, that's just one.
Or other persons that's in.
Oh, it's much deeper than that.
In there.
Yeah.
So they can have sex with multiple partners at one time.
But it's much deeper than that. It's so deep that they in this type of free love, all right, revolutionized lifestyle. You have people who sit as judges, your policemen. I mean, you can name every title of job classification. You have folk in it, all right, involved in it. And it's much more than two couples swapping.
I can believe
it's much more than they do have clubs where any type of sexual preference of orientation that you want that you I guess you fantasize or desire to be in.
Oh, so you mean tell me if you're a straight man and you just have fantasies, you ain't gay, but you're a straight man and you just have fantasies to have sex with another man, you can?
You can
just test the waters?
It creates this swinging lifestyle creates an avenue for folk. Here's the best way to say it. It is an avenue where a person or persons can involve themselves or achieve any kind of type of sexual fulfillment in any kind of way they desire for it to be fulfilled with any type of person. When I say type, that means any kind of race. You might be a short man looking for a tall woman. I mean, you might be
a tall woman looking for a short man.
You might be, like we had the show about the Cougars. You might be a little 18 or 20. You got to be of age, but 18, 20-year-old looking for somebody trying to be 60. It was a type of person. That's what I'm really talking about.
Oh, okay.
In any location of the world. Okay. I mean, because they have these avenues, they have things called the swing sites that person can go and the web, World Wide Web is so like infiniteless now. That folk, I'm letting y'all know, y'all getting y'all ears full today. Welcome to the real world. The real world.
Real talk.
And I know some church folk going,
hold up, no, they ain't doing that. So I'm writing it down so they can do it. They write it down so they can do it later.
Well, I know even as I talk, I know as I'm informing, and this is realism. I know some folks that's gonna take this and give me more. Well, I'm on real now. Some folks take that to an advantage. Some folks take that into knowledge. But the real truth, they have these websites, which are called swing sites, and you could like go in there, create your account, say like you going on a trip to some even a foreign country, don't make no difference where. Make contact with somebody, now they have the social networks. Mm-hmm. This is a different type of social network. Mm-hmm. This has to do with the free love social network, where you could be going over to Egypt and you could a month ahead of time. You know your date. Hey, type in. You see some pictures and profiles. You read what they're about. It might match yours or whatever. I mean,
Oh, so I have to read the glyphs on the pyramid. All I can say, I want this Egyptian.
Well, just like the social network where people dating and all that. I mean, they still would have to agree. You make a contact, they agree. If they may not, people keep on moving. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, they may not want some shots.
And lifestyles or life now has made everything so much easier. Like we say, the gay rights movement made it easier. Yeah. I mean, we have to, and very true, we can't not omit it. The Black or African American movement made much easier. Mm-hmm. So I mean we can't omit it because it's part of their reality.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on there and find me somebody from Zulu. I want a Zulu. No, I take that back. I want a Mandingo.
Mm-hmm. You know what? You need some help.
You know what?
I know.
I got a stick named Mandingo.
I want an African brother named Mandingo.
My fifth grade teacher had a paddle. It was this big and it had a handle, and she called it Mandingo. Mm-hmm. Really? Yes, she did.
That's all right.
Big old wide paddle.
What is he still living?
Huh?
Does he still living?
No,
because I wanted to borrow that paddle. Go find Mandingo.
Mandingo.
No, I want to get that paddle. Go ahead and give me Mandingo and use that paddle.
A big old paddle, boy. It's short.
But no.
You said it's short. Oh wow.
Yeah. But no, it's still sexual revolution when we get it now. People doing it today, tomorrow, the next day is all over the country. Do you know why? Oh. Should I give my theory about why?
Ooh, another theory.
My theory is that it's no limit to the things that a person can do sexually. Their dreams, their hope, their fantasy, or whatever, they can fulfill all of them. When you're in a society or you're in a revolution where you can go to places like you say overseas, call up groups on the internet, surfing, and find these places and get every sexual desire or any sexual desire you want. But you gotta look at this, we're human. And sex is a part of us being human. It's our adrenaline going. Why stay on to just one part, one missionary part? Some people just missionary part. When you can explore, put a little excitement in and explore different things with it. So that's why I think it's a sexual revolution. It's gonna always be a sexual revolution because it feels so good.
She's stuck on last week.
She is.
Stuck on last week.
She is.
Last week was funny. I don't know what. Last week was funny.
She's stuck on last week.
The sexual revolution, to me, is more than just about sex or sex acts. It's about different groups of people opening up and allowing us to look into their world. It's about, I look at it like a Freedom of Information Act.
Right.
A lot of information got put out there, and a lot of things got put onto the social scene and put on the center stage that had been in the back wing somewhere prior to that, and it just brought it forward and on the spotlight on it, and it needed to happen. It needed to happen. I always say knowledge is power. And as long as it's something that's hidden, that makes it even more quote unquote taboo. To bring it out and put it in the forefront, it's not going to be totally accepted by everybody because to each his own. But at least you have the right to do that. This is a free country. And a lot of things were brought forward. It was a less oppressive period than what was prior to that. But, it came with its ups and its downs. I mean, it came with its people pushing it and its deflectors. How well you deflect it depending on your knowledge of the topic. And it really helped push, honestly, it helped push our nation forward. Again, I go back to Hugh Hefner. He was a visionary. When he first came out, people were very upset. People were extremely upset. Now, women, they campaign to get in Playboy. Playboy started a lot of people's careers. Playboy has added to a lot of people's careers. Back in the 1950s, to be in Playboy was a bad thing. Marilyn Monroe was in Playboy. I think she was the first Playboy bunny, actually. So, it's all about how he took a concept and made it a reality. And that's what a lot of the sexual revolution is about. It's about concepts becoming more concrete. Something that was not, did not have form, took form. And got organized.
And I think Hugh Hefner was a little freaky anyway. Old buzzard.
He wasn't old then.
Yeah, old now. And he's still going strong. So yeah, I think he was a little freaky anyway. So. But
if you think about it, if it wasn't for people like Hugh Hefner and all of those other people during the 60s and 70s, we wouldn't have a lot of the freedom that we enjoy today. Right. Think about it. We may still be that same oppressed society that feel that if a woman wore her dress above her ankle, she was loose. You have a whole lot more freedom.
Well, let Bush tell her he liked a woman with a cankle.
Well, I still have this thing with society. I mean, like I said earlier, you were talking about, that those things haven't changed, but we still have created a stereotype, and it's become a stigma in our in a true perception, to rationalize things. Because I mean, really, that thing where I was talking about a woman answering in a bikini rather than I mean, the real hard truth, there is no difference in the exposure. And so what makes her Jezebel, because she answers in a bra and panty and not in a bikini. Because is that the bikini is more suited to show flesh? Or, I mean, really,
No, because
or just because it's called undergarments, it's supposed to be under the garments. You hear what I'm saying? And because we set up these distorted view, then it begins, anytime you act upon a distorted view, you begin to act, you mold yourself to act crazy. Right. So, like other countries, as you were saying, it's nothing for them. People can walk around naked and nobody pays it. Why? Because they're more realistic.
Yep.
More realistic. And, because we created this thing, well, the woman's not supposed to. I'm not campaigning to make sure y'all understand. I'm not campaigning for women to be nude all the time. I'm just saying that because of this distorted view, all right, that it has created in people that a woman in the two comparisons it is showing some kind of mysterious way showing a different amount of flesh, or creates this different spontaneous act upon them, because most men, like I said, it's exposure more so than which one would be the more turn on, whether brown panties or bikini. Most men, it is, and then most of the men I think I've talked to or run across and look at statistics, is exposure. Okay, but that doesn't mean that that's sexier. All right, and let's not get that confused.
Yeah,
all right,
that's true.
All right, now as far as just being sexier, it is much more sexier to majority of men that to have the challenge to create the image of what's underneath. If I could say it like that,
you can say it like that.
Of what's underneath.
So imagine what could be underneath.
Right. It's like the challenge. I mean, it's the same thing for women too. I mean, women are a little bit more. How can I say? Have a little bit more professionalism.
Professionalism.
About it, but it's the same for women. From what I've gathered, listened to, and everything, it is a lot more. It's the same. Men just a little bit more voiceful, or a little bit more transparent.
Okay.
Than women. So women. We know y'all be looking just like men be looking. All right.
We do look.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing wrong with looking.
I know, and we know church folk look too.
Oh, they definitely look.
I know.
Why y'all think church folk holier than now?
Well,
they not.
Well, here's the thing. It's not the look. Even though, and I have to go down on this religious statement. It's not. We tend to say this statement, though it's true, but it's not to what people really have acquired it to be. That statement says, even though in the thought you have even sinned. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not just the thought.
Correct.
All right, because just because you look at somebody and you say, they're cute or they're sexy or you might have undressed them, it's not just because of the thought you have even sinned. It's much deeper than that. It's when you get to meditating on it, and it just becomes it's regular thought, not just a simple thought. It becomes part of your meditation, because most likely it's going to lead you to actually make something come into real life rather than a thought.
Right.
And it's
the lust.
It's because the love of money, not loving money, is a sin. And even though it says the love of money is sin, it's not just because you like money or love money. It's because you meditate on all kinds of ways you can get it.
Correct.
You might start stepping on folk, doing folk dirty, and all that because you meditate so much on on getting money any kind of way you can.
Correct.
So it's not the money that becomes a sin. It's not the thought. And I've heard that so much. I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I'm going to keep my saying to myself about that. Because some people don't like the way I say things. So I'm going to keep my saying to myself.
We know you looking.
No, I ain't keeping to myself. I just like sin is everywhere. You born into sin. When you die, you die to sin. Sin gonna continue to go on. So if you're a hot Christian, when you go to church, you're gonna be a hot Christian after you're dead.
I tell you, I like this one thing, and I don't know whoever I know a few people might recognize who I am, but and if they do, then they know who my dad is. But one thing I admire about my dad. We were in Atlantic City, and we were walking down the boardwalk. We were there for a family reunion. Me, my brothers, sisters, some of the relatives, my mom and dad, and we were walking, and we came up to this gift shop, and they had this card with a lady. She was bent over with a bikini halfway down her butt, half of a crack showing. And my dad made this comment. He said, "You know what, honey? I think I'll get that card and put it on my desk." And we just my mom, she was just cracking up. And I'm gonna tell you why I admire that. Because he would be real. And some people be like, I ain't looking. All right, your eyes see what it sees. Okay, all right. That's if either your eyes see what it sees, or you must be a blind man. Officially blind. Because the truth is, your eyes see. That's called being tempted. All right. Now, just because you're being tempted doesn't mean you're sin.
That's correct.
Because Jesus was tempted.
Correct.
But he didn't. He
said not.
Right. He said not. So just because you're tempted doesn't mean that you sin. Some folks want to say just because I look, oh yeah, I'm sinning. Or just because you look, quit looking at them. You sinning. Come on, let's get real. We gotta get real. We gotta get real.
It's a look.
Right.
And that's all it is. It's a look.
It's just a look.
It's a look.
All right.
It's there.
Yeah. Now, there's a difference between sitting there and just, you starting to drip and drool. You're like, there's a difference between that and just a look.
Right.
All right.
That's kind of like, and I'm gonna say this real quick. That's kind of like, when you look at strip clubs.
Right.
Okay. Now, some women have an issue, when their male friend go out to strip club, and I'm like, why are you tripping? He's there, he looking, can't really take it home with you unless you're gonna hang around afterwards and ask her out. But she there to make money for the most part. So why are you tripping? You might learn something. Go with him. You might learn something up in there.
Some of them strippers will sell them some or give them some for a few bucks.
But we're not talking about those. We're talking about the ones that's there to just for entertainment purposes.
Stripper. But
for entertainment purposes.
For entertainment.
They have a woman and the woman lets them go.
Yeah.
Is that what the one who gives them permission?
Yes.
Oh.
But not necessarily give permission. You can't give a man permission to do anything. He's gonna do what he want to do regardless. But the thing about it is that
condones, maybe that might be the one.
Yeah, it's all a part of sexual revolution. We got lockups for women, and a man might be like, I don't want a woman going to a lockup. what is she gonna do there? She might go look around, but she gonna come back home to you. You know, so you gotta look at it that way too.
I had a friend that, well, I put it this way. I was a manager of a fast food chicken restaurant. And we had a strip joint right on the sides, but kind of behind us. And he was my assistant manager. You get paid every 2 weeks. He would go in there and spend his whole check on the strip club. Monday come, he ain't got a penny in it. Just for these women dancing on him. And I used to tell him, you can buy some. Boy, take $50. Buy you some. Why you pay these women just to fart it in your face and you can actually have it?
Well,
but he would, and you know how much, you know, I'm from Chicago. So he get paid like $1,500 every 2 weeks. System manager Chicago, come on, whole $1,500 can't pay your rent, can't pay your car note, but you can get them all in dollars and give them to these strippers.
Well, you know, but see, that was his choice, and that could have been an addiction.
It was.
That could have been an addiction, and people can come addicted to many different things. But when you're talking about the social revolution, you know, if a woman chooses to work in that profession, that's her choice. That's a choice.
Yeah.
And
if a man,
men too, Chippendales, they got famous. You know.
But don't
the
they
got
they
famous.
didn't show everything. They didn't show everything. That's the only thing I hate about Chippendales. I didn't watch it. They didn't show everything. I want to see everything. But yeah, I can understand that part of sexuality, and it's still going on today.
Still going on today.
Yeah. So it's still it. So the question is, yes, it still is a sexual.
There'll always be a sexual revolution, and
as long as there's humans on this planet, and there be one man and one woman, it's always gonna be sexual.
You think there'd be anything else besides humans?
It might be.
Don't get us started on that, please.
She said as long as they're already humans.
Don't get us started on
that. I said not a man.
Don't get us started on that.
Yeah,
people going to the internet.
You got other people do other things.
Ooh, they do some of everything.
Oh Lord.
But I'm saying humans.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, y'all, we sure appreciate you tuning in tonight to Jay Talks Today's Relationships.
Yes.
All right. And we got another good one coming up next week. What we got coming up next week?
It's free love for everybody.
It's free love for everybody. All right. We got to talk a little bit on that. All right. So, it's free love for everybody.
No, you got to pay me. You don't get my love free.
All right. That's Sister Soldier giving her last word. Well, and we're going to be closing out, and we just really, really appreciate y'all tuning in today. And we just want to say tune in next week, same time, same day, next Sunday. As a matter of fact, just those that are listening, we will be starting at 7 o'clock
next Sunday.
Just keep checking the website, jtalkstodaysrelationships.com. There'll be notifications there. 7 o'clock next Sunday. All right, not be a little different from our normal. So 7 o'clock right here, same station. All right. So now I guess to say a few little things.
Ooh, here we go.
If you've been your word cohabitating,
shacking, go use
your
word.
Living together, or just plain shacking with somebody, and it has been over 5 years.
Ooh.
And you have been talking about the possibility of marriage for 3 years.
Wow.
And it has not happened yet. You just might be a little ignorant.
Ooh, 5 years.
just talking to somebody who was living with somebody for 17 years.
And never married.
And man is not committing to marriage yet.
Sure, why shouldn't he got his cake, his cow,
I got
his
that.
milk?
Mm-hmm.
My aunt, God rest her soul, she did that for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man put her out his house that he bought
Mm-hmm.
and married another woman.
Right. Well.
So yeah, I 17 years, it's time for you to go, buddy.
There's some relationships I know that where people are living together, they start buying a lot of stuff in both names, like they married, and then it came one day that it dissolved. I mean, you still have, in a divorce, you still have you have to, but now there's you really don't have the law or the justice system to deal with it.
Called common law.
Well, it's called common law, but it's still handled a little different than the actual marriage going to divorce.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a bit of difference. And now they do the prenup, and all that, but
post-nup too.
And post-nup.
But I wouldn't do none of that. If you can't marry, bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you get some people that it's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have people who've been living together as husband and wife for years and years. Never been married.
Mm-hmm.
And either one of them died, or the other one died, or both of them died, and they never been married. So you have some relationships that last, without being married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some for a lifetime, some for a season.
Yeah. And if you are the kind that got this little information about the swing lifestyle,
CJ on today's talk show
about the swing lifestyle, and you find yourself kind of thinking that this must be the way I can cheat on my wife or my husband, and get away with it.
Wow.
You might be a little ignorant. And who was that she said was who was that character she said that was the star? What was her name? His name? Yeah, Sister Soldier.
I said who?
She mentioned somebody's name.
That was a star.
Mm-hmm.
That was a star.
Yeah.
She said so much.
Well, I tell you what.
I don't remember that. I said somebody was a star.
We said this last week, or 2 weeks ago, but somebody didn't get the message. And if you just so happen to be a talk show host and you mention the wrong name, you just might be a little ignorant.
Like when John Boy.
Well, so long, folks. We appreciate y'all. Y'all be blessed and take care. All right. All right. We out of here.
Good night.
Shame.